Hey everyone, Daniel from Homegrown in Australia. We're in the out eastern suburbs of Melbourne, near the Yarra Valley, and I like to try and get around and do a bit of an update on what's going on in the veggie garden. It's the 9th of January, so it's our summer period here in Melbourne, and we've just come off a couple of weeks of really hot weather in the high 30s, and I was actually away taking a break at that time, set up a bit of an irrigation system to keep everything alive, and come back and found that it's all going pretty well, albeit growing a bit out of control in some spots, so we'll share that with you. And right in front of me at the moment, it is a bit overcast today, and we have had a little bit of rain in the last couple of days, but parts of the state got a lot of rain. Most of it missed us here, but in front of me I've got some watermelon. First time I'm growing watermelon, so got these in probably a little bit later as per usual than what I normally like to get plants in, but they're going fine. This is actually not in a veggie bed, this is just in a mulched area around some fruit trees. I've got the avocado tree here and a lime tree here. And I've just put some compost down in the ground, pushed the mulch aside and put some compost in there. And so we're getting a few volunteers coming up because of seeds that were in the compost as well, which you'll see in a second. So I've got some pumpkin, another watermelon, and looks like we've got about 3 varieties of pumpkin here. So I know I've got Jap pumpkin, and I know I've got butternut, and I'm not quite sure what this third variety is down here, but anyway, we've even got some tomato plants sort of popped up out of the compost. So they're hanging out over here. They're starting to take off nicely in amongst all this mulch. And if I go across here, you can see the ground is really dry now. We just head across into the veggie patch, and we've lost some of the fruit off the trees because I hadn't netted it this year as fully as I normally would. Oh, let's start here. Zucchinis. I think I've probably had, I haven't counted them, but I think I've had about 30 zucchinis in, well, under 2 weeks out of the zucchini. So let's see here. We've got these lovely flowers, and there's a little zucchini. I went through and picked them all yesterday, and there's another one that's probably getting close to being ready to pick. For those that don't grow zucchinis and are not aware, you've basically got a female flower on the end of the fruit, and you've got a male flower here that grows separately. And this flower here is what pollinates when the bees go into here and then go into the female flower on the end of the fruit. Will pollinate the fruit and give you a good zucchini. If you're getting zucchinis like this one down here that didn't properly form, it's because they didn't get pollinated. So we're getting plenty of zucchinis. The cucumbers are just starting to grow. Had about 8 cucumbers. Let's go delving down here. Look here. There's a little one there. I like to try and get, you can see the little flowers here. I like to try and get the cucumbers growing up the trellis. One, it takes up less room, but 2, the fruit just have that nicer colour. You can see there, possibly there's a bee just landed in that cucumber, doing its important work, so that's great. Off he goes. On to the next one. I'm growing a lot of different varieties of tomatoes this year, and apart from the last couple of weeks, the weather hadn't been terribly flash and hadn't been growing so well here. So I feel like my tomatoes are a little bit behind where they should be. These are a Siberian variety. You can see they get quite prolific on the bush. They're sort of a medium-sized tomato when they grow. They're still pretty small. And I think they're quite a nice eating tomato. I've got a bunch of different tomatoes in this bed here. So I've some small little Tom Thumb tomatoes. They're all still green. We've got some baby Romas. We've got some Money Maker. And in the next bed, I've got two varieties. I've got a beefsteak and a Hungarian heart, which I haven't grown before. So, and I'm just noticing I must have mixed a couple of these up here by the birds got into my tomato plants when they were seedlings. So I reckon I've got some baby Romas in here actually. Anyway, we shall see. We've got some Romas. You can see, because I'd left these plants for a couple of weeks unattended, they haven't been pruned. So we're getting a lot of multiple trunks on the plant, I guess, which makes them very bushy, which is probably not too desirable, but unfortunately when you leave your tomatoes, is what happens awfully quickly. It just happens really quickly. And then over here we've got the Vasilis varieties, which I've shown in another video. By far the fastest growing out of all the plants that I'm growing. And again, because I didn't get to the pruning, I might just share with you what I do though. You can see here, I've got a garden stake going through the tomato cage. I've just tied that on. When we get a bit of wind, and we do get a bit of wind here, if I don't stake them, the cages can blow over with the plants, particularly once they start getting a bit of fruit on them and get a bit heavy. So that's a handy little hint. Cucumbers, there's a bit of variety of different cucumbers in here, a few chili plants, and down the end the eggplants. You'll see I'm planting very close together. I do put a compost and manure in these beds, and a bit of power feed, which allows me to get away with it. And I only do it just because I just want to plant more than what I've got room for. So whilst I keep getting away with it, I keep doing it. And silver beet. So the chooks have been having a lovely feed on the silver beet. Seeing a lot of ladybugs on the silver beet and the lettuces. The lettuces, as you can see, have gone to seed. That hot weather, they really don't like it, and they go to seed pretty quickly once you get that hot weather. So I haven't pulled these out because I'm just taking the tops off it and feeding them to the chooks. So that's a bit of an idea what's going on in the garden at the moment. I hope you found that a little bit interesting. It's a bit of a record for me, so I can compare year on year. Great idea. If you're looking at getting into gardening, to keep yourself a bit of a record, a bit of a photo album, whether you do it on Facebook or in one of the other apps. So you've got a bit of a record you can refer back to, and what worked, what didn't work. And but so far, whilst it's been a bit of a funny year with not very good weather and then some hot weather, now it's turned cool again. It's been a bit of a slow start, and then we've started to take off again. So I guess time will tell in terms of what production's like, but so far we look like we're okay, and we'll continue to get a bit of a feed out of the veggie garden. Thanks for watching, and yeah, if you'd like to see more of these videos, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to do another little video today on the irrigation system that kept my garden alive whilst I was on holidays. It's really simple, really basic, so have a look out for that as well. Catch you later, bye.